Hello! Welcome to the Excel High School introduction video. In this introduction video, we're going to talk about some large topics such as how to log in and as well as what browsers are going to be best used for your classes here at Excel. We'll also discuss the transcript information related, whether you've sent your transcripts already or you still need to send them to us. We'll talk about that as well. We'll discuss the graduation requirements and what students need to meet to be a graduate of Excel High School. We'll go over the My Plan career planning resources that are offered free of charge through Excel. We'll also go over navigating your classes and the different places that you can go within your class to be able to get help, to be able to access your lessons, and to be able to view your grades. And lastly, we'll offer the top 5 tips of how to succeed in online classes. So let's get started. So first off, when you're logging in to Excel High School, always start by going through our website. And the browser that you're going to want to use is Google Chrome. Everything works best on that browser. So if you don't already use Google Chrome, use that for your Excel High School classes. The other ones are not going to work as well, especially Internet Explorer, especially Safari. Firefox sometimes works okay, but in general, Chrome is what you're going to want to use. So go ahead and download Chrome and use that for working on your classes. And when you are logging in, always go through the Excel High School website. We'll show you exactly what that process looks like. So when you're on our main Excel High School website, you'll see a couple different student logins. This one is the quickest way to log in, just using this button. This one will also work. This one will take you to an alternate page before getting to the actual login, and when you click this, you'll arrive here. And you can enter your email and password that you created when you signed up, and you'll be able to log in. And when you log in, this is what you'll see. There's a lot of different information that we have here that looks very similar to what you see, and I want to talk through the different pieces of this page. So first off, you'll see your student ID on this top line. We have it covered because this is one of our test students that we have loaded for the purposes of this video. Over here is how you can access the student forum. This is where you can add your voice to the conversation of the various questions that are posed by not only staff, but as well as students, where you can participate and kind of connect and see what the other students at Excel High School are up to. Here we have the student and parent course access portals, which we'll get to in a moment. If you ever have any questions about various policies related to Excel High School, you can view the current and previous enrollment agreement here. Now, transcripts are a big thing that we want to talk about. Perhaps you've sent your transcripts to us already, perhaps you haven't. If you haven't, you probably have a large X on the screen here, a big red X. That's just to let you know that we haven't received transcripts yet. You're still able to work on your classes before we get those transcripts, but we will need to have your transcripts on record before we can push you forward from your current set of classes or graduate you so that we can verify all the credits that you do have. Now let's talk about this transcript information. If you haven't already sent your transcripts over to us, we do need to receive them directly from your school. We're not able to get them in an email from you. Just for them to be considered official, we do need to get them from the school directly. So give your school a call, let them know that you need to have your transcripts sent over to us, your new school, and they can send them via email at the address listed on your screen, or they can send them via fax. Those would be great methods of sending it. They're welcome to send it in the physical mail, but usually people will email or fax them directly over to us. That email, registrar@excelhighschool.com, and that fax number, 1-952-465-3701. It's also listed at the bottom of our website, as well as our physical address if they do want to send them physically over to us. When we actually receive your transcripts, we'll send you an email to let you know that we did receive them, and then just allow a little bit of time for us to process them, get them audited, and get them uploaded to your file. When we do have them uploaded to your file, down here, we have this little summary area. This is one of our adult students as our test student here. You can click here and see how everything came in. So let's take a look at that. So you can see the total program progress bar at the top, just kind of giving you an idea of where you're at based on your current classes. Now, this test student transferred in a bunch of various credits with a bunch of various grades. You can see 1 credit representing like a full year class and a half a credit representing like a 1 semester class. You can see they have a few art classes such as Drawing and Painting 1 and Drawing and Painting 2, each being a full year class that they earned an A, and it's all written on their transcript. We can also see what they're currently enrolled in and how that lines up to their graduation requirements. They're currently enrolled in English, Environmental Science, Health and Fitness, Introduction to Business, our Math Models and Applications class, and US History. And then we can also see what the remaining upcoming classes are listed at the bottom. This is going to look a little bit different for every student, but being able to see what you've already done, what you're currently in, and what you still have left is going to be helpful to get an understanding of where you're at. Additionally, there is a GPA calculated on here, as well as how many credits you've completed, and how many are required. 21.5 credits is the minimum requirement that students will need, depending on what all the credits that you transferred in are. To be able to meet the requirements for graduation, you might end up needing additional half a credit, additional whole credit, depending on what you've already taken. But 21.5 is the minimum requirement that you'll be going for. Now, we mentioned graduation requirements. Let's talk about what those graduation requirements are, and so you can see how your credits transferred in towards what you still need. So here on the left side, this is our standard diploma. It's a 21.5 credit requirement. So if you fit all of these credits for each class and add them all up, you'll end up with 21.5 credits. So we can see that there are 4 English credits required. That's like 4 years of English. 3 math credits, that's like 3 years of math. 3 science, 3.5 social studies, and then we get into the electives outside of the core classes. And the electives, there's a total of 8 credits here, split up as a semester of health, a semester of physical education or wellness class, an art credit, and then 6 other electives. And all this will total up to 21.5. We also have the requirements for our honors track, AP track for the 24 credit diploma. The diplomas are really the same thing, but depending on your goals, you may want to look towards taking 24 credits to graduate if you're looking to get into perhaps a more prestigious college. Both of these tracks are going to get you into college just fine. However, depending on your own personal aspirations, you may strive towards the 21.5 credits or the 24 credits. All right, let's be back on this initial page that we logged into. There's a few more things we want to point you towards. We do have some standardized test prep resources right here. If you're preparing for one of those tests, feel free to check out the resources that we have linked there. Additionally, we do have a lot of different websites listed on our online library where you can get additional resources that can help you in various classes. Another thing I want to point out on this page is the My Plan area. And this is the career planning and personality type of assessment portal. And I want to give you an idea of what this looks like because it's a really cool resource that we have for students completely free. So when you click on that, you'll arrive at this page. And this is just basically a little in-between portal that gives you the information that you're going to need to access this. Now, I have a little banner over what our group license is, but you'll be able to see what that code is, and that will give you access to the various tests over at this website. So let's go ahead and take a look at the website. When you arrive at the My Plan site, you will need to create your own account. We don't have one already made for you. It's going to be one that you're going to use your own email, password, make an account for yourself. When you go to take the actual tests, that's where you'll be able to apply that group code that we gave you. That'll give you access to those tests. We can see I've already taken a few of them. Let's jump over to the assessments, and we can see the 4 different tests that are available to us here. We've got the career personality test, career interest, career skills, and career values. These are going to do a lot of different things. Feel free to read the descriptions, but career personality test is like, it's kind of thinking about where your strengths and weaknesses are and what types of jobs that might point you towards. The best thing you can do for yourself is to answer honestly. Like, really look inwards as you're taking these, spend some time with them. These are meant to help you, and if you answer them dishonestly with yourself, it's only going to affect your results and give you inaccurate results. These are really a place to learn about your interests. Okay, so I'm just going to give you an idea what these tests look like, for example, and I think you can take them as many times as you want, but theoretically, if you answer honestly, you're going to have the same answers. Students who are juniors and seniors, I would definitely recommend taking these as you start to prep for college or the workforce. You're going to learn a lot about yourself through these tests. If you're a freshman or sophomore, you're certainly welcome to take these. However, I would also sideline it for a year after taking it and revisit it in a year or 2 as you learn more about yourself. So if we take a look at this personality test, for example, you'll see that they've got the instructions up here, and the first question just asks, what bothers you more, people who are constantly late or people who are constantly bossy? You'll see there's no right answer. It's just all personal preference that figures out your personality, what makes you tick. And so there's no wrong answers. Be honest with yourself. That's how you're going to get the most out of these tests. There are other places on this site that are extremely useful too. Feel free to check out the varying resources that are offered throughout the My Plan site, along with the 4 tests that are included with us. All right, to actually navigate to your classes, for students, you'll want to click on here for the student course access. For parents, this is going to be the link that you use. You will use the same login credentials as your student. However, you have a separate link that's more streamlined towards what you're looking for. So for students, you'll click on here, and that'll prompt you to click on our learning management system. You can just click on the banner right here, and that will log you in. When you first log in, you're going to arrive at the dashboard. There's a few different ways to navigate here on the left side, and the dashboard is just kind of the front place. And you might already have classes assigned to you that are popped up at the top in a green invitation and says, you were invited to this class, accept or reject. You're going to want to accept your classes, because if you reject a class, we might not know that you rejected that, and that might throw off the course requirements that you need towards graduation a little bit. So if you do want to change a class, let us know, don't just reject it. After you've accepted your classes, you'll see your courses all listed here on the left side in the little courses button. This is a great way to navigate. You do have your various classes all listed here, and you can go through them there as well. And you can click whichever one you want to work on right from here. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of our classes here. Let's take a look at the environmental science. When you click on it, you're going to arrive at the home page. Every class has a recommended timeline on the front. Here in environmental science, they have a 32-week recommended timeline, which is about your length of your typical school year, and you can feel free to follow this if you would like. This is part of setting your own schedule and working on your classes at your own pace. You will want to make sure to make some incremental progress at times, and following a schedule like this is just a good place to start. If you want to work faster or slower, well, you can adjust based on your own personal preferences. All right, there's a couple other places I really want to point out here. One is the Grades tab. That's just going to be where you're able to view your grades, how you did on quizzes, how you did on perhaps the final exam, and just see your progress so far. We also have the modules area, and that's going to be the place that you spend the most time in. The modules of the class is where all the content is, where all the quizzes are, where any assignments are. You're going to find them all here. And basically all you need to do is work from the top to the bottom. So we start with the course syllabus, table of contents. You're welcome to check these out just as a little introduction. And then right below it, we have our first module. This is an introduction to environmental science. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. So when we click on that, we're directed to this new page, and we can see our introduction to environmental science. This is the textbook for the class, and when we get to the bottom of the page, we can go ahead and click next to go to the next piece. I'll go ahead and do that now. So then we're into 2.1, and if we reference back to this page, we were here, then we click next, and then we popped into module 2. What is environmental science? And we can see that this next one is grayed out, and that's just because it's locked, because we haven't viewed this one yet. However, once we view this textbook here, the next one will unlock, and we can continue forward. And then after we view this one, the next piece will unlock, and we can continue forward. So let's go ahead, just take a look here. This is our 2.1 section. You can always click on this upper left piece to make it just full screen. And then you can go ahead and check out the textbook, read through it, take notes, just as you normally would, revisit it as you need. There are places where you can check your understanding, just to make sure that you are picking up the information along the way. You won't need to actually click on anything to answer the question. Just figure out what the answer is, answer it in your head, and then check out the correct answer. And then again, when you get to the bottom of the page, you're welcome to click the next button, head over to this next section. Remember, you don't need to go through a bunch of this all at once. You can see now we're on section 2.2, and if I go back to the modules page, I'm just going to refresh this. I've seen section 2.1, I've seen section 2.2, and that opened up the study guide PDF and the quiz for this section. You can spend a whole week learning and understanding the different concepts that are in here. Sure, you could read through it in less time than that, but to really understand what it's saying and to view that study guide, it might take a bit longer than that. Ultimately, you'll get to the quiz, the Module 2 quiz. Quizzes you always have 2 attempts on, and you can use your notes. So hopefully you were taking notes along the way. Then after your Unit 2 quiz, Module 3 will unlock, and you'll be able to continue forward. There's a couple other places I want to highlight before we jump forward here, and those are the inbox area and the support area. The inbox is going to be where you can message some teachers. If you have a specific question for a teacher, feel free to find them in the inbox area. You can compose a new message, pick which course you're doing it for, find your class, perhaps this is for environmental science, click on that. We can use our little contact book. Feel free to go to the teachers, choose your science instructor, and you can send them a message. Include a subject and try and be as detailed as you can about what you have a question about, where it is in the class perhaps, and what your question specifically is. And that'll help them give you the best answer right away. A different way that you can ask questions is by using the support tab here. Here we're a student at Excel High School. There are a few different schools that are on this same platform. So we would just open a support ticket with Excel High School. We can open a new ticket, and depending on what our question is related to, we'll be able to ask a question. Either it's academic support about classes, maybe we have a question about our billing, or a question about transcripts for our registrar. You can ask those various questions here. All right, let's talk about the top 5 tips for success in online classes. Starting with number 5. Number 5 is know how to navigate your classes, especially as you're getting started. Know how to find what your coursework is, know how to find your grades, know what kind of the flow of the class looks like, so that just moving around within your classes is very easy and you can focus on the content. We've already taken a brief look at how to navigate classes as well, so that should get you started. Number 4, know how to ask for help. We've already given you an idea of where you can receive various help, so just don't be afraid about asking for help. It's as easy as ever when you can just send off a quick message. You don't have to catch a teacher during their office hour or when they're not in the room. You can just send off a quick message, let them know what you need help on, and they'll be able to help you out. Number 3, don't put up mental barriers. This is the kind of mindset where you say that you can't do something before you even really engage with it. And some of the common ones are, I'm not good at math, or I've never been good at math, or I can't do math, or I don't get it. I don't get science. I don't understand this biology at all. And these kind of mental barriers do a lot psychologically. Even if we might believe that ourselves, just by opening up a little bit to the material, you might find that you're better at things than you maybe initially anticipated. And by saying that you can't do something right away at the start, before you even really give it an honest shot, is going to be really tough towards actually succeeding. So try not to put up any mental barriers. You're going to succeed a lot more in learning when you open up your mind to the material. Number 2 is take notes. As you're working through your classes, you can use your notes on quizzes and the final exam. If you take them via paper or pencil, then perhaps even have your own notebook for each class that you have, or have different sections of your notes for each class. That way, when you get to the quiz, you have everything in a nice orderly manner that you can use those notes effectively to help yourself. Keep your notes, you're going to be able to use them on the final exam and on your quizzes. Or if you take notes digitally, you're welcome to take notes via your computer as well. Just know that you will need to print those off when it comes time for the final exam if you're taking them on your computer. And the number 1 tip for success is make a schedule. The best thing you can do for yourself is, just like at a regular high school, is to work a little bit every day. It's so much better to work for a half hour, an hour every day on a class, rather than to marathon a 5 or 6 hour session one day a week. There's a lot of psychology and studies that go into working on something slowly over time being so much more beneficial than just one marathon session. So make a schedule. Make something where you're working 4 or 5 days a week on your classes, where you can block out hours of the day that you plan to work. And try and hold yourself accountable to that. Maybe you've blocked out from 10 until 3, 5 days a week you're going to work. Well, that's going to be something that you want to try and stick to as best you can. Try and block out those hours that you would normally be working on school, perhaps, to be able to work on your school here. Now, we don't require you to be at school at perhaps 8 in the morning, but that's a flexibility that you have with online classes. But our high school age students do still need to work on their classes at least 20 hours a week, which would be, for example, 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, which is already less time than you're spending in traditional school. So, a lot of advantage to making a schedule. Make yourself a schedule about what's reasonable for you and when you can reasonably work on your classes, and then stick to it. And that is all for our orientation introduction video here at Excel. There's a lot of information that we covered, but of course, it's like your first day of school. There's a lot of information to be had. So feel free to get started on your classes whenever you're ready, and welcome to Excel.